Fiction, A Little World by Betsy Herbert, illustrated by Lisa Woodruff. Genre, fiction. Essential question, what excites us about nature? Chapter 1, to California. Chapter 2, to Aunt Karen's. Chapter 3, in the pool. Respond to reading. Poetry, see a star. Focus on literary elements. Chapter 1, to California. Jack was supposed to be packing. Instead, he was trying to get to the next level of his game. He had spent hours playing already. "Jack," Mom said from the doorway of his bedroom, "for the last time, turn off the game and pack your bag. And can you please pick up in here? Your room is like a pig pen." Okay, Jack grumbled. He turned off the game. He put his suitcase on the bed and started piling clothes into it. Mom said, "Thank you. We're leaving for the airport in 20 minutes. We'll be at Aunt Karen's in California tonight." Jack nodded. He was excited about going on the plane. He loved machines. But he wasn't so sure about staying at Aunt Karen's. At least Mom was letting him bring his games along. But Mom had also said they would spend a lot of time exploring the outdoors. Jack was a little worried about that. He wished they were going to explore a factory that made electronic games instead. Well, Aunt Karen lives right on a beach, he thought. At least building sandcastles will be fun. Chapter 2, at Aunt Karen's. That night, Jack and Mom settled in at Aunt Karen's house. Jack was glad that she at least had a TV and a computer, and not just a shelf of nature books. But when he poked around looking for video games, there weren't any. Jack looked out the window toward the beach. Well, it's too dark to see the sand now, he thought. But I'll get to go there first thing in the morning. The next morning, Jack ran downstairs. He couldn't wait to see the beach. "Good morning," Mom said. "We thought you were never getting up." "Hey, there's the ocean," Jack said as he walked by a big window. He stopped and stared at the waves crashing along the shore. "But where's the beach? I just see a bunch of big rocks." "That is the beach," Aunt Karen said. "Oh, so there's no sand?" Jack said. "Nope," Aunt Karen said cheerfully. Well, I guess I can forget about building sandcastles, Jack thought. He tried to not look too disappointed. "But we can go down right after breakfast," said Aunt Karen. "It will be low tide then, so we can check out the tide pools." "What are tide pools?" Jack asked. He wanted to be polite, but he didn't really care that much. "They're pools of water that are trapped by the rocks when the tide goes out," Aunt Karen said. "When it's low tide, you can walk out on the rocks and look into the pools. During high tide, the whole area is covered by water." "What's in the pools besides water?" Jack asked, starting to feel curious. "All kinds of stuff," Aunt Karen said. "It's like a whole sea world in one little space. It's really cool." Jack said. He couldn't really imagine a tide pool, but right now he was hungry. Breakfast first, nature later, he decided. Jack wanted the orange five-armed sea star. Jack watched the orange five-armed sea star crawl across the bottom of the pool. "What are those things sticking to the side of that rock?" he asked. He pointed at a clump of close black shells above the waterline. "Those are mussels," Aunt Karen said. "They use tiny threads to stick to the rocks. They filter little particles out of the ocean water to eat. When the tide is out like this, they close up tight so they don't dry out." "What does the sea star eat?" Jack asked. "Mussels," Aunt Karen said. That's perfect, Jack said. You were right. This really is a whole little world all in one place. How long can we stay down here? Until the tide starts to come back in, Aunt Karen said. It's a good place for the mussels then, but not such a good place for us. Then let's keep going, Jack said. I want to look as many tide pools as we can today. I want to come back down tomorrow, too, and every day until we have to go home. This is the coolest beach I've ever seen. Genre, poetry. Compare a text. Read a poem about a sea star. See a star. I see a star, and it's not shiny or shimmery. I see a star. It's not burning or bright. I see a star. It is not in the dark sky. I see a star. It is as black as night. I see a star. I think it might like me. It seems to be waving. The sea star I see. Oh, the sea is so splendid.